Here's my list of the top 20 hidden gem wonder kids in Football Manager 2023 for the midfield centre position. Michael Golding is a 16-year-old Chelsea player who could go on to be world class in Football Manager. You can pick him up for just £3.8 million at the start of the game, that's if he wants to come to your club. And in this particular save has a standout attribute of flair, which is hugely surprising for the kind of position that he plays. And what's even more surprising with Michael Golding is when you look under the bonnet, his consistency attribute is 18 out of 20, which gives us this dark green pro here and tells us he's a consistent performer. Of course, caveat, these attributes can be variable from save to save. Eugenio Pizzuto, the 20-year-old Mexican midfield centre wonder kid. This guy's great at tackling, great at passing, great at determination. I mean, he's the ideal centre midfielder / defensive centre midfielder. Agility and acceleration as well. And again, looking under the bonnet, look at that consistent performer attribute. Big dark green. Again, it's 18 out of 20. You couldn't ask for much more. In at number 18 is Jonathan Asp Jensen. This 16-year-old Danish, light-hearted and promising midfielder has surprisingly good attributes for his age. Corners, 13. Dribbling, 13. First touch, 13. Passing, 13. Technique, 14. Determination and flair, both 14 or above, as well as natural fitness. Again, looking underneath the bonnet, we can see he's a fairly consistent performer and could adapt well when it comes to living in another country. Might cost you around 10 million quid though, because he is playing for Bayern Munich. In at number 17, João Neves, £4.3 million can pick you up this Portuguese 17-year-old resolute midfielder. His mentals really stand out for me straight away. Determination, 16. Again, flair, 14, and bravery, 14. Why are these centre midfielders like so good at being flair players? It's just odd. Underneath the bonnet tells us again a fairly consistent performer and displays resolute characteristics. Will Alves plays for Leicester. He's valued at £15 million in terms of asking price. That's how much money you're going to have to spend to get this guy. And he's got really good attributes. He's comfortable at midfield centre and attacking midfield centre. He's got dribbling 14 and technique 14, as well as flair 16. Of course, everyone, like, why has everybody got flair in this video? But I suppose with aggression 14 as well, that does kind of mould him into, or it could mould him into, a really good centre midfielder. Marc Cucurella next, the 17-year-old Spanish centre midfielder, is playing for the Real Madrid B team. Again, very good at consistency, which we'll see a little bit later on, but first touch and passing are two of his standout attributes. Now that goes along with technique, aggression again, decisions again, determination, and you guessed it, flair. He's got great vision. Is available for so cheap, it would blow your mind, like 500k. It's a fairly consistent performer already. I don't know why you wouldn't get this guy. Potentially he wouldn't want to come to everybody because he's already playing for Real Madrid, but my god, he's going to be good. In at number 14 is Guilherme Santos. This 17-year-old Portuguese, fairly professional, promising midfielder is going to be good. Standard attributes of technique, flair, and balance, with an asking price of around 2 million quid and a fairly consistent performer attribute here on the scout report. Yes, please. Staying in Portugal, staying in Sporting in Lisbon, Samuel Justo, again another young midfielder described by the media as a balanced personality, triple entente of decisions, determination and flair at 13. Add to that aggression, add to that acceleration, add to that agility, pace, passing, technique and first touch. And long shots, by the way. You got yourself a doozy. Fairly consistent in terms of his performances, but look out, could be fairly susceptible to injuries too. In at number 12, I think we're on number 12 now, Daniel Gore. He's playing for Manchester United. He's a 17-year-old player, so you're going to be talking like a little bit of money here, probably about £10 million, but he's going to be very good in the future. 15 aggression. He's got teamwork, vision, technique, passing, first touch and agility, but the real standout here is natural fitness. He's a fairly consistent performer, and you'd expect that, right, for the type of money you'd have to pay to get this guy. Talk about paying money. Skudakov will cost you a lot, about 40 million quid, right? So he's kind of off the menu probably for a lot of you, but I just wanted to include him because he is I didn't want to just get rid of him just because he costs money. He is a great hidden gem. Great passing, teamwork, vision, pace and stamina, all 14 or above, and he's so consistent in this particular save. It would be a travesty not to include him. In at number 10, Archie Gray, £17 million. You can pick up the Leeds United under 18 spirited young midfielder for standard attributes of first touch, passing, technique, aggression, teamwork, vision and balance here in this particular save make him one to watch. At number 9, Victor Alutu, someone who you can pick up for around 3 million quid from AC Milan. The 17-year-old Nigerian player has the standout attribute of natural fitness. It's 16 out of 20 here. When we look underneath the bonnet, we can see fairly consistent performer. This attribute is about 14 out of 20. The darker green it gets, the closer to 20 it gets. And I know for a fact this one is 14 in this particular save. Get this guy, he's going to be good. In at number 8, Luka Sucic. This guy will cost you a couple of pennies, I mean around 12 million quid. But the 19-year-old Croatian is going to be very, very good. He's already had 3 caps for his country, actually, so arguably not quite as hidden as some of the gems we have on today's show. He's fast, 15 acceleration and 15 pace. He's got great movement off the ball. That is 14 out of 20, and his technique and dribbling is very, very good already at 19. Beware though, he might have a problem with injuries. He certainly does in this particular save. In at number 7, we are back at Sporting Lisbon with Mateus Fernandes. What is this guy good at? Well, he's good at dribbling. He's got great natural fitness. He's determined. He's aggressive. And he's got good technique. No real standouts when it comes to the underlying hidden attributes, and will be available for around £6 million. Staying in Portugal, this time at Benfica, we got Tiago Freitas. This 16-year-old young centre midfielder with a balanced personality does have a lot of growing to do, but he has that flair attribute that we spoke about so much in this video. 15 out of 20 here in this particular save, and he has natural fitness. A mere 600k for the compensation will get this guy into your team straight away, and we can see already he is a fairly consistent performer. In at number 5, Charlie Patino. He's on loan at Blackpool in this particular save. Whether that is the case at the start of the game, I don't know off the top of my head. We are about 2 weeks in here because we've scouted some of the players. So some of the contract information or asking prices may be incorrect at the very start of the game, but they're probably right. Dribbling 14, first touch 14, passing 14. He's absolutely insane already at 18. Technique 18, teamwork 15, off the ball 14, composure 15, balance 15. A £24 million asking price. He's a fairly consistent performer. I would sign him at any cost, especially if you are playing in England. In at number 4, João Veloso, someone who I feel like we've spoken about already. Maybe we did it in the previous video. Great vision, great determination, good natural fitness here from this light-hearted, promising midfielder. He's very cheap. You can pick him up for about £1 million, and he is a fairly consistent performer already in this particular save anyway. In at number 3, Desire Doe. He's got a potential ability range up to 180 out of 200, which is massive. And you can see here in this save, the 17-year-old French, fairly determined centre midfielder, has got great attributes. Dribbling, first touch, technique, vision, flair, determination, agility. He's going to be very, very good. Pick him up for around 18 million at the start of the game. He displays a fairly determined attitude according to my scout. He's going to be good. Now, pick him in the top 2 was hard, but in the number 2 we've gone Fabio Moretti. Both of these guys will cost you about 30 million quid, so you're not talking cheap as chips, but you're talking very, 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 very good, world class. Moretti is 19 years old. Standout attributes of first touch, dribbling, determination, anticipation. Just look how good he is mentally. Balance, agility, and stamina as well on the physical side of things. A perfectionist personality. He's a fairly consistent performer, and he's going to be good. It's going to be great. In at number 1, then we've gone for Cesar Casedi, 19-year-old Italian centre midfielder who's just made his way to Chelsea and is in the under-21s. Finishing 14, first touch 13, heading 15 in this particular save. Anticipation 14. Again, the potential ability range goes up to 180 for this guy. He's 6'1". He's got good jumping reach as well, which is probably one of the main reasons why we put him ahead of Moretti, who only has a jumping reach of 8. Again, fairly consistent performer, a professional individual, and huge potential. Guys, here's your shortlist. Feel free to write it down, hit pause. Do hit subscribe though while you're down there. If you'd like to download the shortlist, and look, there's a huge bunch of bonus players on the end here as well. There's about 50 players on this shortlist. Consider hitting the join button just below the video there. Patrons get access to the shortlist as well. The links for that is in the video description. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. See you soon.